friends, and welcome to another video of Amanda Gets Excited About Books. If you're new to this video series, the way it works is I have a box of brand new books that just came into the library, and I'm going to open it up and show off all of these amazing books to all of you. I get so excited when we get new books in, and it feels like Christmas, and I always can't wait to read all of them, and so I enjoy sharing all of that excitement with you in these videos. A couple of announcements. One, all of these titles are in our catalog right now, so if you see something that you know you want to read or you see something that you would like to check out once it's ready, please sign into the catalog and request those titles right now, or when you're done with the video, or anytime in the near future. That way, when those books are cataloged and ready to go, we will let you know that they are ready for you. Second announcement, if you have watched any of these videos in the past and you were thinking, oh, I know there was a book that sounded really good and I can't quite remember what it was, you don't have to rewatch the whole video, although you're certainly welcome to if you want to. We have lists in our catalog of all of the books that are in each of these videos. So if you know there was something in video number 3, but you can't remember what it was, check out the list for unboxing video number 3 in our catalog. When you open the catalog, there's an option on the right-hand side of the screen that says book lists. If you click that, you'll see a bunch of different options, and that includes lists of all of the titles that have been in these videos. So if you're wanting to see what was in the previous videos, check that out. You can place holds on items right from that list when you pull it up. It's super helpful. So, with those announcements out of the way, let's see what we've got in this box to be excited about today, shall we? Our first book is the Happy Ever After playlist. This is by Abby Jimenez, and this sounds adorable. This is about a young woman named Sloan who lost her fiance 2 years ago and can't seem to get her life back on track, but she encounters what she thinks is a stray puppy dog, or lost puppy, that she takes home with her, and she tries to contact the dog's owner and can't, and so she decides, guess what, this dog is hers now. Then after a few weeks, the owner reaches out. It turns out he was a musician who was on tour, and that's why he didn't respond, but he wants his dog back. But now our main character, Sloan, has fallen in love with this dog and doesn't want to give the dog back. And so as these two squabble over this dog and who should keep this dog, they start to fall for each other as well. So it's about these two people who are bonding over their shared love of this dog. And this is the Happy Ever After playlist. Exciting news if you are a James Patterson fan. We've got this title of his, The Coast to Coast Murders, that just came in. And this features two siblings who share a terrifying past. In Los Angeles, we have a detective and an FBI agent who have joined forces to work a murder case that seems like a dead cinch. Their chief suspect is quickly identified and apprehended. But then there's another killing just like the one they've been investigating, and another, and another. And it's not just in Los Angeles, it's across the country. And so the family of these two siblings comes to the investigators' attention, but our detective and FBI agent are at a loss. If someone in this family is involved, which one might it be? So that is the Coast to Coast Murders. Here is one I am so excited about. I'm sure you will all be shocked to know that this young adult graphic novel is one that I'm excited about. If you've watched these videos, you know this is a format that I am always excited about. I adore this cover and the colors, and these amazing colors and this palette continue throughout the book. So I am looking forward to going through this just for that art alone. It looks amazing. This is called Map to the Sun, and this is by Sloan Leong. And this is about two girls who very quickly become friends one summer. They are absolutely inseparable. And then one of them moves away and stops answering the other's message. Years go by, and then that friend moves back and wants to act like nothing happened. And Ren, the other friend, isn't sure that she's ready to rekindle this friendship with someone who's been ignoring her, but now the two of them are on the same girls' basketball team, and they still have one very important thing in common. They want to play and they want to win. So this is A Map to the Sun, and this is one I know I will be reading, and I recommend that you do as well. Our next title is The Watcher by Jennifer Pashley, and this is a mystery suspense title about a woman named Pearl, who is a nobody. She lived as a hermit in the woods, and then one day she's nowhere to be found, and all that's left behind is a pool of blood and a child that no one knew existed, who has been raised completely off the grid in the grip of Pearl's manic paranoia. Now we have the only female detective in a tiny upstate New York town of Spring Falls, where everyone knows everyone, but no one will talk, and this detective takes the case that no one else wants, but as she struggles to navigate the harsh rules of a new town, while trying to learn the truth about the Jenkins family, only one thing becomes clear: neither she nor Pearl is as invisible as she first thought. Someone's always watching. This book sounds wonderful. I don't think I'm on hold for this, but I kind of want to be now that I've looked at some more things about it. This is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and this is about the Midnight Library. Between life and death, there is a library. Up until now, Nora Seed's life has been full of misery and regret. She feels she has let everyone down, including herself, but things are about to change. When she finds herself in the Midnight Library, she has a chance to make things right. The books in the Midnight Library enable Nora to live as if she had done things differently. Each one contains a different life, a possible world in which she made different choices that played out an infinite number of ways, affecting everyone she knew as well as many people she never met. With the help of an old friend, she can now undo every decision she regrets as she tries to work out her perfect life. But things aren't always what she imagined they'd be, and soon her choices place the library and herself in extreme danger. Before time runs out, she must answer the ultimate question: what is the best way to live? This sounds like it would make an amazing book club title. This sounds like a book that you're going to want to read and talk to everyone about, as I imagine there could be a lot of interesting discussions surrounding this book. This is another one that I am very excited about, another one that I love the cover. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is called Everybody Looking. This is by Candace Ilo, and this is a young adult novel in verse, so told through poems, and this is about Ada, who leaves home for her freshman year at a historically black college, and it's the first time she's been so far away from her family, and the first time she's been able to make her own choices and to seek her place in this new world. As she stumbles deeper into the world of dance, she also begins to wrestle with her past. Her mother's struggle with addiction, her Nigerian father's attempts to make a home for her, and ultimately Ada discovers that she needs to brush off the destiny others have chosen for her and claim full ownership of her body and her future. I love books told in verse. They are always incredible to read. They go a little quicker, but there's so much beauty in the language, and these writers are always doing things that are just wonderful to read, and you just get caught up in how they're telling a story. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy reading this. I recommend you put your name on the list for this one. Our next title is absolutely one I'm excited about. I adore Nick Hornby. I always enjoy reading his books. And this one is called Just Like You. And this one starts with the question: what happens when the person who makes you happiest is someone you never expected? Lucy used to handle her adult romantic life according to the script she'd been handed. She met a guy just like her, same age, same background, same hopes and dreams. They got married and started a family. Too bad he made her miserable. Now, 2 decades later, she's a nearly divorced 41-year-old teacher with 2 school-age sons, and there is no script anymore. So when she meets Joseph, she isn't exactly looking for love. She's more in the market for a babysitter. Joseph is 22, living at home with his mother and working several jobs, including the one where he and Lucy meet. It's not a match anyone could have predicted. He's from a different class, a different culture, a different generation. But sometimes it turns out that the person who can make you the happiest is the one you least expect. This sounds like a wonderfully great read. This sounds like it will be full of the heart and a little bit of humor and just truth about life that I've come to expect from every Nick Hornby book that I read. This is called Just Like You. Our next book in this box is called Bird Summons, and this is by Laila Abulela. And this one also sounds like it could be an excellent book club choice. This is a lively portrait of 3 women who embark on a journey of self-discovery while grappling with the conflicting demands of family, duty, and faith. When these 3 friends and active members of their local Muslim women's group decide to take a road trip together to the Scottish Highlands, they leave behind lives often dominated by obligation, frustrated desire, and dull predictability. Each wants something more out of life, but fears the cost of taking it. Salma is successful and happily married, but tempted to risk it all when she's contacted by her first love back in Egypt. Moni gave up a career in banking to care for her disabled son without the help of her indifferent husband. And Iman, in her 20s and already on her 3rd marriage, longs for the freedom and autonomy she's never known. When the women are visited by the hoopoe, a sacred bird from Muslim and Celtic literature, they are compelled to question their relationships to faith and femininity, love, loyalty, and sacrifice. This is Bird Summons, and this sounds like an amazingly great read. Our box includes some new picture books as well. The first one up is called Maud and Grand Maud, and this is by Sarah O'Leary, and this book looks adorable. This is about our young girl Maud, who loves spending the weekends at her grandmother's house. There's always breakfast for supper, matching nightgowns, and old movies. But what makes the visits extra special is that Grand Maud has hidden small surprises in an old chest under Maud's bed. She may find a paint set, a toy, homemade cookies, or hand-knit mittens. Maud even finds real treasures, things that belonged to Grand Maud when she was a little girl. So if you are looking for a wonderful book to share with the young ones in your life about the special relationship between a grandmother and a grandchild, I highly recommend you put your name on the list for Maud and Grand Maud. Our next picture book title is Lights on Wonder Rock. This is by David Litchfield, and this cover is gorgeous, and the interior illustrations are just as beautiful. This looks like one that would be so much fun to read with a little one, just for how beautifully the illustrations convey this story. And this is about Heather, who wants more than anything to go to outer space. So when a UFO lands in the woods behind her house and she meets a friendly alien, it seems that all of her dreams have come true. But soon her new friend has to return to their home among the stars. Will the spaceship ever come back for her? And if it does, will Heather be ready to leave everything on Earth behind? So this is Lights on Wonder Rock. And our final picture book in this box is R.E.S.P.E.C.T. This is an Aretha Franklin biography by Carol Boston Weatherford. And this is another one that has just been beautifully illustrated. So I highly recommend this, again, for how well done the pictures are, what a great job they've done of conveying the life of the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Our next book I'm very eager to read. This is The Assignment. This is by Liza Weimer. And the premise of this book sounds quite a bit like a book entitled The Wave, which is a few decades old now, but also an excellent read. In this story, the students of a senior class are given a group assignment where they are supposed to argue for the final solution, which was a euphemism for the Nazi plan of genocide of the Jewish people. And when this assignment is given to them, Logan and Cade are horrified. Their teacher cannot seriously expect anyone to complete an assignment that fuels intolerance and discrimination. Logan and Cade decide they must take a stand. As the school administration addresses the teens' refusal to participate in the appalling debate, the student body, their parents, and the larger community are forced to face the issue as well. The situation explodes into acrimony and anger. What will it take for tolerance, justice, and love to prevail? This is The Assignment. Our next book is called Legendborn. This is by Tracy Dion. And we continue our vein of amazing covers because, wow, look at this cover. Does this not just make you want to see what this book is about? Because it certainly does for me. After her mother dies in an accident, 16-year-old Bree Matthews wants nothing to do with her family memories or childhood home. A residential program for bright high schoolers at UNC Chapel Hill seems like the perfect escape, until Bree witnesses a magical attack on her very first night on campus. A flying demon feeding on human energies. A secret society of so-called legend-born students who hunt the creatures down. And a mysterious teenage mage who calls himself a Merlin and who attempts, and fails, to wipe Bree's memory of everything she saw. The mage's failure reveals Bree's own unique magic and a buried memory with a hidden connection. The night her mother died, another Merlin was at the hospital. Now that Bree knows there's more to her mother's death than what's on the police report, she'll do what it takes to find out the truth, even if that means infiltrating the Legendborn as one of their initiates. She recruits Nick, a self-exiled Legendborn with his own grudge against the group, and their reluctant partnership pulls them deeper into the society's secrets and closer to each other. But when the Legendborn reveal themselves as the descendants of King Arthur's knights, and explain that a magical war is coming, Bree has to decide how far she'll go for the truth and whether she should use her magic to take the society down or join the fight. This is sure to be the start of an amazing fantasy series that you will absolutely want to take a look at and read. Our next one is adorable, and it's another one that makes me so happy that it's coming out. You've seen a couple of early reader graphic novels in some previous boxes. This is another one in that vein for the beginning readers in your life who want to take a look at some graphic novels. This is Bun Bun and Bon Bon, Fancy Friends. And Bun Bun, as you can guess, is the bunny, and he has a delightful nose, a winning smile, and a ridiculously cute tail. And not one, but two adorable ears. But he doesn't have a friend until he meets Bon Bon. From learning fancy words to eating donuts for lunch, there's no limit to what this adorable duo might get up to in this adorable graphic novel. As you can see, we see our friends Bun Bun and Bon Bon having all kinds of fun adventures. Our next title, again, one that I know that I want to read. I've read The Flat Share by this author, Beth O'Leary, and loved it. This is The Switch. This also sounds wonderful. This features Eileen, who is newly single and about to turn 80, who would like a second chance at love, but her tiny village doesn't offer many eligible gentlemen. Then in bustling London, her 20-something overachieving granddaughter Lena is ordered to take a 2-month sabbatical after blowing a big presentation at work. Once Lena learns of Eileen's romantic predicament, she proposes a solution, a 2-month swap. Eileen will live in London and look for love. Meanwhile, Lena will rest and take care of things in rural Yorkshire. But trading places isn't as easy as either of them expected. Will swapping lives help Eileen and Lena find themselves and maybe even find love? I can't wait to read this. It sounds absolutely delightful. I'm sure this is one that everyone will want to take a look at. Our next title is the newest book by Jodi Picoult. This is The Book of Two Ways. Everything changes in a single moment for Dawn Edelstein. She's on a plane when the flight attendant makes an announcement. Prepare for a crash landing. She braces herself as thoughts flash through her mind. The shocking thing is, the thoughts are not of her husband, but of a man she last saw 15 years ago, Wyatt Armstrong. Dawn miraculously survives the crash, but so do all the doubts that have suddenly been raised. She has led a good life. Back in Boston, there is her husband Brian, their beloved daughter, and her work, which helps ease the transition between life and death for her clients. But somewhere in Egypt is Wyatt, who works as an archaeologist, unearthing ancient burial sites, a career that Dawn once studied for but was forced to abandon when life suddenly intervened. And now, when it seems that fate is offering her a second chance, she's not sure of the choice she once made. After the crash landing, the airline ensures that the survivors are seen by a doctor, then offers transportation to wherever they want to go. The obvious destination is to fly home, but she could take another path. Return to the archaeological site she left years before, reconnect with Wyatt and their unresolved history, and maybe even complete her research on the Book of Two Ways, the first known map of the afterlife. Which choice will Dawn make? You will have to read this book to find out. Our final book in this box is one that I cannot wait to read. Another thing you might notice when I do these videos is I particularly enjoy mysteries as well as our middle grade and young adult novels. And this book, The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, is one that sounds right up my alley. This features a peaceful retirement village where four unlikely friends meet weekly in the Jigsaw Room to discuss unsolved crimes. Together they call themselves the Thursday Murder Club. There's Red Ron, the infamous former socialist firebrand still causing trouble. Gentle Joyce, widowed, pining for another resident, but surely not as innocent as she seems. Ibrahim, a former therapist who understands the darker side of human nature. And Elizabeth? Well, no one is quite sure who she really is, but she's definitely not a woman to underestimate. When a local developer is found dead, the Thursday Murder Club suddenly find themselves in the middle of their first live case. The friends might be septuagenarians, but they are cleverer than most. Can our unorthodox but brilliant gang catch the killer before it's too late? I know I'm on hold for this book. I recommend putting your name on the list as well if you enjoy mysteries with a little bit of humor and some unconventional detectives. This is the Thursday Murder Club. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I know this got a little long, but we had so many amazing books in this box, and I absolutely had to show all of them to you. Please do sign into the catalog and request any of these titles that you are interested in checking out so we can get them ready for you as soon as possible. And I look forward to seeing you the next time we get a new box of books in. Thanks so much, and see you later.